Welcome to Sew Anastasia, and today we're going to put an invisible zipper in a dress. I love this dress. I think it's so cute. It's like a 60s little rock and roll riot girl-ass dress. The zipper in it was completely destroyed, so I took it out, and we are going to replace it with an invisible zipper. I also serged that seam so that way I got rid of the frayed edge that was there. Today I'm going to be using the Husqvarna Viking Topaz 40 for this. You can also use any sewing machine, but I'm going to use this one. Invisible zippers can be a little confusing, so I want you to take your zipper and lay it on the outside of your dress with the tab on the outside. Now unzip it, and you want to take the tape on the left side and flip it over so that your teeth are now on the outside of the dress. And before we start sewing, we want to make sure that this little plastic nub on the top of the zipper is going to be all the way at the top of the dress, because this one already has a finished inside. If you had a facing there you were sewing, you would make sure that this plastic nub was right where your seam was going to start. But our seam is all the way up here because this is a finished dress. So you want to put that little plastic nub at the top. Go ahead and put some pins in it. So now I'm going to put some pins in it going all the way down so it stays in place while I'm sewing. Also notice how my zipper doesn't go all the way down to where their zipper was, which is totally okay. We're going to sew to the end, and later on we'll go back and sew up the bottom of the hole that'll be here. Now you want to go ahead and find your E foot. It's going to look something like this, and it does have an E right in the center of it. There's two different spots you can attach this foot to the machine. First, we're going to attach it to the left side. And we're going to want to move our needle position all the way over to the left. To change the needle position on this machine, we're going to have to go over to the touch screen. You're going to want to go to the set of arrows on the bottom right, and we're going to want to click the left arrow. Notice how the stitch on the screen moves over to the left. I like to make the stitch go to about 3.5. Now that the E foot's on and we moved our needle position all the way over to the left, we're ready to sew the zipper onto the left side of the dress. And now, while we're sewing, we are going to make sure that we take our teeth and push them over, so that way we can sew very close to the teeth, but not going through them. Now we're going to take our zipper and put it under the machine. Remember, I like to flatten it open. Go ahead and step on your pedal, do a couple back stitches, and line that up. When you get to the bottom as far as you can go, make sure you back stitch. And now we're done with the left side, and it's time to do the exact same thing to the right side. Now go ahead and zip it up and see how nice and close it is to that center. So now when you zip it up, you also are going to want to mark the waist seam. So the waist seam is right here, and it's really important to line it up on the other side of the zipper. So go ahead and you can chalk it or put a little snip there. I usually will just go ahead and put a little snip in the zipper tape, and now when I unzip it, I know where to mark up and line up the other side. So now that we have the other side open, you take it and you flip those zipper teeth to the outside, and now that I have that little slit there in the zipper tape, I know exactly where to line it up. So I like to start with my first pin there, positioning it. And now you can go ahead and put pins in it the rest of the way. And if we're lucky, it lines up at the top. Perfect. Next, we're gonna have to move the position of the zipper foot. Now you're gonna pop the foot off, pull it towards you, move it over to the right side, and just push it back on. And now what you need to do is move the position of the needle all the way over to the right. So we're gonna have to go back to our touch screen. Now we're gonna take the right arrow and move it all the way over to the right. Now we're doing the right hand side of the zipper. And so go ahead and take out your first pin, position it under the foot. Make sure you back stitch at the top of your zipper. And go ahead and just make sure you open up the zipper teeth and sew as close to them as you can without sewing through them. Make sure you back stitch at the end, and now we're all done with that side of the zipper. Now that we have the zipper nice in the dress, notice how the waist seams line up. That's great. Now we just need to finish the bottom. We're gonna sew this hole up, and we're gonna also finish the top and turn the little ends of the zipper under. Now you wanna go ahead and turn your dress inside out. We want to see the inside of the dress where the zipper is and then where this hole is. And now what we want to do is go ahead and sew up that hole. So we still have our zipper foot on and we have the position of our needle all the way over to the right. Now when you have your dress in the machine, make sure your zipper over to the right is out of the way. And you want to try and start maybe like 1 centimeter above where your last stitch left off for the zipper. It's hard to see, we have matching thread, but you want to line that up perfectly. Now this is important while the zipper is all the way over to the right, so that way you're not gonna end up with any distance or a hole at the bottom of your zipper. And now we're just going to go right back into the stitch at the center back seam. And once you've stitched down 1 inch past that, go ahead and back stitch, cut it, check it out. So now if we turn it right side out, you can see that there's no more hole at the end of the zipper. So now we just need to go back and iron this out. Now let's go ahead and put the 8 foot on so that way we can finish the top of the zipper. We are at the top of the dress and on the inside. And now we're gonna take that zipper tape that's extra, we're gonna fold it inside and flip it back. And now you can notice how that chunky piece of plastic at the top of the zipper is at the very top of the dress. And this means our zipper is going to zip up all the way to the top, which is what we want. So now we're going to take it and flip it so the right side is up and put it under our machine and just give it a little tack. Now that I have my fabric in here, I'm going to go ahead and sew a couple stitches to keep that tape in place. When you pull it out, notice how that tape is gone and it's tacked down in the back. And you can just go ahead and cut these threads. Now you just need to go to the other side and do the exact same thing, and then your zipper will be done. And it's time to party and wear your new dress. Now our zipper is done, we are ready to wear our Courtney Love inspired riot girl dress, which is vintage. It is so adorable and cute. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia and sewing along with me today. As always, check me out on Instagram at Sew Anastasia and Anastasia Chatzka. If you're in Chicago, stop by my studio and take a sewing class with me. You can find information about sewing classes at sewanastasia.com. And all of that information is all clickable down below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!